All right, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking what is honestly a pretty dense, fascinating spiritual discourse about the holographic universe, and we're going to turn it into clear, actionable insights for your everyday life. We're totally bypassing the heavy philosophy here and getting straight into the practical tools you can actually use. So let's just dive right in with a massive question. What if the absolute totality of the entire cosmos is fully available to you right now? And I mean, not after decades of intense meditation, but literally in this exact breath. The source material we're looking at makes this incredibly bold claim that your existence is fundamentally a holographic experience. To wrap our heads around this, here's our roadmap. First, the holographic universe concept. Then, two states of consciousness. Third, the power of inner state. Fourth, everyday life applications. And finally, number 5, the power of here. Okay, kicking things off with Section 1, the holographic universe concept. Think about a traditional photograph for a second. If you cut it in half, you've only got half the picture, right? But in a true hologram, if you completely shatter it, every single tiny shard still contains the entire complete image. The source argues that our reality works exactly like that. It's a nested fractal reality. The ultimate cosmic reality, often referred to as Paramashiva, doesn't get watered down in the material world. It is present in its complete, undivided, absolute totality in every single moment. So the divine isn't some distant future possibility, it is fully encoded in the here and now. What this means is you don't need to somehow add the divine to your life, or, build up enough spiritual brownie points to finally earn it. A single flower, boom, it reveals the entire cosmos. One drop of water, it literally contains the totality. Even your own physical body is a cosmic map, and each breath is a capsule of infinite intelligence. You aren't searching for something outside yourself. You're really just removing the blind spots to see what's already built right into you. Which brings us perfectly to Section 2, two states of consciousness. Because if totality is everywhere, why don't we feel it, right? Well, the discourse describes our experience as constantly navigating between two totally different frequencies. On one side, you have a shudda, our dense, impure, ego-driven state. This is when we're totally caught up in material delusion, constantly complaining, feeling totally disconnected from the whole. Then, on the complete opposite side, you have shudda, which is the pure frequency of unadulterated love, oneness, and a direct, unfiltered experience of divine grace. To really illustrate this, the speaker shares this amazing parable of two sweepers working at a temple. Picture this. They both do the exact same physical job, sweeping the exact same dust off the exact same steps. But sweeper number 1 operates entirely from a shudda. He's constantly complaining, feeling like it's a lowly job, just waiting around for a promotion. Sweeper number 2, though, operates from shudda. He sweeps silently, deeply feeling that every single speck of dust is divine. The story goes that sweeper 2 attained ultimate enlightenment, while the first one remained completely bound. Same outer action, entirely different inner realities. And this is a real game changer because it completely flips how we usually think about progress. Identical outward actions yield completely different spiritual results based entirely on your inner frequency. You don't necessarily need to overhaul what you are doing in your daily routine, you just need to shift the space from which you are doing it. Let's look at how far this can go in Section 3, the power of inner state. The source illustrates this with the super intense story of Kanapa. So, Kanapa was a hunter, deeply rooted in raw physical survival, living what would traditionally be judged as a highly impure life. Yet, he completely bypassed all traditional ritual purity because his absolute unadulterated devotion was just that intense. When he saw a statue of his deity bleeding from the eye, his sense of oneness was so complete he didn't even hesitate to pluck out his own eye to offer it. Now, the teaching here isn't actually about physical harm. It's showing that an extreme, instant shift into pure love, into shudda, allowed him to bypass millions of lifetimes of slow, gradual spiritual evolution. So how do we tap into this? The speaker emphasizes maintaining what they call your conscious sovereignty. When you decide to operate from this higher frequency, your mind is instantly going to start doubting you. But arguing with your mind's doubts is literally like arguing with a moody partner. If you engage, you will absolutely lose and end up in a mess. So don't build a philosophy around your doubts. Just hold on to your conscious sovereignty and let the reality manifest. Think of your spiritual struggle like a scared kitten stuck way high up in a tree. The kitten is crying, trembling, terrified of falling, but the mother cat is just waiting below, basically saying, just let go, you'll fall into me. True initiation, true grace, happens the exact millisecond you stop fighting your own ego, stop trying to climb higher, and simply let go into that pure state. All right, let's bring it all down to earth with Section 4, Everyday Life Applications. Here is your highly specific daily technology to harness the holographic universe right now. Step 1. Stop treating anything as random. It is all a message. Step 2. Audit yourself constantly. Ask, what frequency am I broadcasting right now? Step 3. When you get caught up in some petty ego drama, catch yourself and shift your cognition. Step 4. Use your boring, mundane tasks as direct portals to the divine. And Step 5. Establish devotion, pure love, as your absolute baseline frequency. To put that into perspective, look at how practical this actually is. Next time you sit down to eat lunch, you can completely transform the entire experience. You just tell yourself that by eating, you are feeding the divine that lives within your physical form. Boom! You've just turned a basic survival action into a conscious, micro moment of divine connection. Suddenly, every step you take can be a cosmic dance. The source also completely shatters a major misconception we have about success. It points out that any true success or great thing you manifest in your life never actually comes from your cunning acts or selfish ambitions. Actually, scratch that. Even if your ego tries to convince you that your ruthless drive got you the corner office, the truth is, it was always those fleeting, sometimes accidental moments where you unknowingly tapped into that pure divine bandwidth that actually brought the success. And finally, bringing it all together in Section 5, the power of here. We conclude with this really beautiful story of an ancient sage, Rishi Sandilya. His youngest student was finally packing up to leave after 12 rigorous years of studying every script, every science, and every complex meditation technique you can imagine. Before leaving, the student asked for one final, overarching teaching to carry with him for the rest of his life. The sage gave him a single, powerful syllable: here. He explained that memory is bondage, it's not a stabilizer. Every Veda, every single practice he had learned for 12 straight years was pointing only to the absolute reality found exactly in this present moment. If you remember here, you understand the whole shebang. If you forget it, you've forgotten everything. So I want to leave you with this thought to carry into the rest of your day. If the entire universe is truly a hologram, fully available to you in this exact second, and every ordinary action is a portal, what will you choose to see, and how will you choose to be? Right here, right now.